and this peninsula here.
Here, because it's narrow, why the peninsula? Is it just
Because it has a good outcropping that goes down into the water where the water is very shallow.
Okay.
So if you brought it there, you would have a lot more room to work.
And we have no idea where its den, so to speak, its lair would be.
Correct.
And that's like a shark that just swims all the time and never sleeps.
Yeah.
Okay.
You did notice it is voraciously devouring any life it can find.
Purposely so?
Trying to bulk up.
Yeah. It's cleaning this area out.
In the sense of establishing dominance, or in the sense of bulking up?
Yeah, there's no dominance from the fishes and creatures here.
I don't know.
It's just looking to... It's in its bulk phase.
I'm cultivating
So-
mass.
It's got
Roll an insight.
Insight to the creature.
Actually, all of you can, as Sebastian sort of describes this to you.
Yeah.
And
To
I
try
get advantage for
figure
being
what it could be doing.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I don't have advantage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's perfect. You literally couldn't have done better.
Sight. Well. So about that natural 20.
I got to
So,
stay on this.
Dark Ones are incredibly arrogant and prideful creatures by nature. If this thing was forced out of its natural domain under the water, it is motivated by one thing alone.
Spite and revenge.
Precisely. Take back its dominance.
Would it be safe to assume that the Tarian Yurthax is doing similar?
Absolutely.
I wonder if we could leverage that somehow.
What, have them go at each other somehow?
The thing is, like, so they can. So the aquatic one is amphibious then by that logic, right? It can still
Correct.
fly to beat the one of the sky to reclaim its natural domain.
Correct. It's just adapted to the water.
Okay, so even finding on land, if we find it on land, we'd just be mitigating the disadvantages we have as opposed to maximizing a weakness it has.
I will say though, just as a note,
Mhm.
because this is kind of important.
It's so dark.
I like that you
The
put
one in the
bats
air is significantly smaller,
It's
More.
smaller.
even than its base form.
It's
faster.
Uh-huh.
It's probably harder to hit.
Harder to hit, faster, but that means it has a capability like a glass cannon, but I don't think it's made of glass, that it has in its capabilities that somehow defeated the other two.
Mhm.
Because like dodging is fine, but you can dodge all day, but if you're doing like 1 point of damage, which I'm not saying that's the case, that's hyperbolic. If you're only doing like 1 point of damage, then they only need to hit you once before you get cleaned out. So it has to have some. By Blackwatch doctrine, offense always wins, defense always loses. So it has to have something it's packing. I just don't know what.
I will say, what a great point. The subterranean one, you would know, is covered in a thick metal.
Ooh. Okay. Oh, so that's why it looks like that. Okay, so it actually is
Aluminum, you would guess,
aluminum. Interesting.
which, funny enough, is twice as dense as most steel.
It is.
It is. Let's do a little bit of research.
Is that why it's like so good at like holding its shape? Like for tinfoil and shit?
I'm not exactly sure, but for tinfoil, it's very, very thin, comparatively.
Open alloy.
But if you densened it up, it's apparently very dense metal.
Huh.
Fun.
Wait.
Do we
That
know?
means if we do any electrical stuff to it,
Oh, could you
I was
use heat
thinking
metal on this thing?
would it be resistant of such going so deep underground
Vulnerable.
where there are thermal spaces?
I think you're touching on some very good points.
Thing is, wait, does-
Sebastian, I will say,
Lucian?
you know, it gets hot in those caves.
Yeah. So.
So
Sebastian
it's
would.
likely that this
Yeah.
thing has gathered some sort of thermal power.
We're not so good against the heat ourselves. Across the board, obviously there's
Yeah.
exceptions here and there. Just in the same way there are exceptions in who can swim and can fight underwater.
Okay. Do we know the So the water one, we know where the water one resides. Who would have guessed? Do we know like the main areas that the earthen one resides? Or is there just snaking tunnels underneath here that it could just be anywhere?
It seems to be expanding its territory rapidly.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Because I'm trying to think of the idea I think Crash had earlier of having these two clash. If we
So
could
you
get them to
have-
meet here. But I don't know how to do that.
That would be hard.
Yeah.
We'd have to be sundering immense amounts of earth in order to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd have to be luring the boat to the same location at the same time at that.
We basically have two bait teams that are just running for their goddamn lives.
I don't think it's worth. It's an interesting thing, but I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah,
There's too much that can go wrong and cause a
Setting up.
casualty. Okay, let me say this like this: Sebastian would
advocate
talk
against it.
about that idea at not voting for or against it, just saying that's an option. Quint would be against the option vehemently because it would likely result. It has so many things that could cause a casualty. And Quint definitely aims for bloodless missions as much as he can afford them.
Where were like
I'm
the most
disappointed he's not ruler of rock and stone.
fucking stone?
Rock and stone.
Is there like a main area that there are more fish? I would assume like the bigger body of water probably has more fish, right?
Wait a minute. Maybe we could use these to our advantage.
Oh, drop it on top of them.
You certainly could. There's actually a bridge that does go between them.
Yeah, could see it on the little map.
It would be depriving long-term values, but
By the time someone else comes out here, like they're gonna be building different infrastructure at that point.
like this does have a structure on here, so you can see it.
Yeah,
Snakes. So
right there, and kind of a land bridge there.
if we lured it here, we can at least stick
Trap
it,
it in there.
like trap it in this zone.
Also, we don't have to like collapse this or anything if we just make an effective way to block these off after it goes through. I don't know what that would be.
I don't know what that would look like that this thing wouldn't be able to tear through. Which is why
Oh, yeah, we can have these boxes
like
now.
explosives, as we learned from Atlantis: The Lost Empire, explosives change terrain very easily. As opposed to building a dam out of wood or something would take time. And expose us to danger from this thing.
Yeah, because we'd be effectively operating like in or around the water, so there's a chance that this dude just rocks. Was like, oh hey, lunch.
Basically.
So, what is the plan?
I guess let's just do the first discriminatory thing. Which one are we hunting first? Which one are we locking in? Earth or water? Because air is not. Air would be a slaughter.
I'm good for either.
Okay, so abstain. I'll go water.
I think
I'll vote water.
Let's
Right,
vote
everyone loves the water level.
everyone loves the
Hold
water.
on, wait
Yeah,
a second,
sure.
you're wrong.
That's
You're
totally
horribly
true. It's well, to get the worst one out of the way first, huh?
Of the two of them, yeah, that's probably it's the most difficult one to guarantee the kill, so it's probably better to approach that with all of our capability. Yeah, water.
It's either that or how long? Do we know how long until the mist cores? No, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's
It does.
when it
does.
clears, it clears.
So we can't wait on ward.
And we
so-
can't like force it out of an area.
Oh, there is one more thing.
Hmm?
That is important
One more thing.
to note. Let me mark this on your area. This is something you would have seen. Do you see this mist on this mountain over here?
Is one
All
over.
that stuff.
Sebastian,
Hmm.
this mist is electrified.
What?
Correct.
That stuff, or that's
Where-
what he was pointing at?
This is a nice box right here.
The big blue box.
Where does it end?
This mountain specifically.
On
Around
top.
it has become electrified.
That's where the
Oh.
thing's roosting.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm not saying we should go trek. It might be the only option we have. That's gonna be a bitch. Do we have to wear heavy armor?
No, it's not so.
Not I.
Thank goodness. Because if
I
so, they'd be getting tased the whole way up.
Bradford's armor is pretty predominantly metal. Because I don't think I have access to
Well,
fucking,
then
like,
congratulations.
dragons and shit, so. It's not heavy armor, but it still has metal in it.
So yeah, just something to keep in mind, because that will kill you if you're in it.
Haha.
We'd have to somehow dissipate the mist. Warding
Or
Wind would be a god tier spell for that.
Somehow make the electricity ground around us rather than at us.
I don't think that would be easy to do as we're moving up what is this? A couple miles worth of terrain. Welcome back.
With cleric when you need one.
Shit, that'd be
Yeah,
pretty cool.
for your reference, Alec, this mountain is the mist in it is electrified. So that's where we figure that the sky one resides. But the thing is, getting to it in its own like main ground position is gonna be a bitch. Because we'd be getting tased the whole way up.
Right.
It's 2 miles worth of terrain, give or take.
Oh, just one more thing. One more
thing.
There's actually wind flow there.
Wind flow.
Ooh.
What direction? We say circular.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah, like a hurricane.
So it has
lightning tornado.
what like
Let's fucking
tier
go.
of hurricane do we have up there right now?
Is it
Oh,
one-
it's probably like a trop storm.
Okay.
Do Floridians care
It's a
about trop
building.
storms?
Hell no. I don't change my plans for anything less than a category 3.
I tell all my coworkers that because they're SoCal natives and stuff like that, and I'm just like, I have a buddy in Florida, and he does not give a shit about a hurricane until it hits a certain threshold of danger. And they're just like, is he crazy? And I'm like, no, he lives in Florida, but
Yeah. Cat 4? Okay, yeah, we'll make some preparations. Cat 3, I sleep. It's actually great because it's so
Windy.
loud, the wind and the
Mhm.
rain, you sleep great.
That's
So
interesting.
relaxing.
Yeah,
Do businesses still stay open in Cat 3s and stuff like that?
a lot of the time, yeah.
So,
So
like a tiny-
it seems like aquatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
our votes are on aquatic. Cod, just so
the
you
ruler
know,
of the
welcome
lakes
back.
and rivers.
This zone up here is all electrified mist, and apparently a tropical storm level of winds up here. Yeah,
Top left.
Good to know.
yeah, that's gonna be our last destination for dealing with the Earthx. After all, do with these two,
That's where the head honcho is.
probably. We could try to
Roll
lure
20
this and
logged me
collapse. Eh? Fuck. What's
Yeah,
why
just
acts
log
weird on
me
your
out.
shit?
I know.
What'd you say?
We could try trapping it here. The water one. Or here. Hmm.
Yeah, I think finding a way to isolate. Okay, if we were gonna aim up here, it wouldn't be possible to like knock one of these like massive chunks off, right?
Probably not, but we can still use all
Slice
this.
the top off. Fuck.
Use all this.
Yeah.
Californians are experts at this from the 49er period,
Haha.
creating dams with a lot of explosives.
Oh, the only kind of downside. Well, I guess we have to do it anyways. Is like if we go over there, that's way farther than our current location.
And this whole zone is like locked off essentially,
Mhm.
right? Like
Maybe
that
we gotta
mist
get
is
up there
preventing
eventually.
passage. Let's go ask the Huatachi Jaguar warrior that we passed by if he can help.
Keep telling you, it ain't real.
Of
can't
all the
hurt
things
you.
in there, I is the one I am most confident is real.
Yeah, probably.
What if he's
Definitely
only real if you believe in him?
Well, then he's real because I believe him, and I'm an orc, apparently.
Okay, so we have this location, give it to us. This location, give it to us.
I
We
mean,
have
in theory,
potential
we
to
can use
block off
these.
here or here.
We could use these mountain ranges to do similar. Make like a rock slide that could stop it. Or hurt it even if we can time it somehow. If only we had someone that could see the future.
Oh, wait a second. Actually, yeah, we could probably have if we could design it, a rock slide go this way to block off this side, and then a rock slide go that way to block off that side. Is that what you're saying?
If that is possible, but that is like a lot of distance for us to traverse between.
And it also
Right, so
probably
if we
require
do
us to be,
like if
two
we do
split
trap it, that
groups.
better be a really effective trap to the point that it's unable to break out after we take like the time to traverse down a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Like that better be a really fucking solid setup. But I think it's at least worth checking out.
Well, you could always leave 2 people at the fight.
Good. Just gotta time it.
Who would want to leave out of the fight in that case? Well, let's try and change the other ideas first.
Theoretically, you could set the scenario up when Ward is transferring over with Oni, too. To get an extra body in the fight.
Is that something Oni is amenable to? He's the one that's getting shifted out.
Absolutely, whatever y'all think gets the mission accomplished. And trapping it in there seems like a damn good plan.
Oni has the powers of foresight, or at least something approximative on that, so maybe we can use that to our advantage as well.
He'd be the perfect one to time that shit.
This is a lot of distance for us to cover, so at the very least, could we begin making our way over to it?
Absolutely.
Maybe once we get a measure of the location, we can determine if that's shit or not.
How do we get from this side to over here? I guess here is the only real spot.
There's an arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sebastian had to use the water to dodge the bone collector.
Okay, so we can still.
And there's
go
no
into the-
underground like passage through here or something, right? Like the river is connected somehow and eroded through time, like a passageway from one side to the next.
There
might
might be,
be.
but you'd have to dive
go underwater.
and see it.
Right, makes perfect
But
sense.
given the fact that there's like mountain range throughout there, probably. It's probably safe to say if you trap him in that strait, he's staying there. Unless he wants to fly up.
Oh,
Which
I guess
case, then
isn't
he's leaving the
impossible,
water.
is it?
No, it's definitely possible. That's just, inevitably going to be what it does against the Sky one. But if he leaves the water, that's a win on for us. Because that means we're not
Right.
fighting him in the water.
Additionally, you would be putting him at risk of running into the big boss.
He leaves for 1 minute and the Sky one comes down and it's like, the fuck you doing here, bitch?
I
Told
said
you
not
guys.
to breathe my hair.
In which case, that's still I still see that as an absolute win.
He comes out of water, that's the first thing he sees.
No.
Nothing. Nothing.
So is that the plan? You begin making your way over there to this area specifically?
That's what my vote is.
Yeah.
I
also
think that's
have-
a pretty good plan.
We'd also have access to like a safe haven because like there's a lot of water here. We don't have to worry about stuff jumping us. We have technically a protector of the water in a certain regard. We'd have access to food and water.
We don't have a skeleton.
I mean, there could be a skeleton over there.
Location,
Let's-
location,
let's-
location.
Let's not be too hasty. We might get the full set of melted melted gold
Melted
gear.
armor.
Gotta play fashion souls up in here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we should also probably mark this location on like a map that we have, just so like, in case we ever need to come back here for something.
Yeah, someone
Gotcha.
write Roach Kingdom on the map.
Whoa, that one is obvious. It's the tower. We'll come back in somewhere and burn them out.
Oh, I flashbang
Wait,
myself.
no, not summer. We'll come back in winter and burn them out. I was like, think about it. Like, wait.
Flash out.
Then you come in like Debo. Back when that roach has like a recharge 6 on his breath. So you begin making your way there. Who are your trailblazers?
Send out ranger people, right?
It's a mystery. Yeah, send the Rangers out.
Sebastian
Gotcha.
will be hanging out on flank, just making sure that he's not with them technically, but just making sure the bone collector's not around.
I would help with the Trailblazer.
Easy. Okay, so my trailblazers roll me survival separate or together, and someone give me a perception. and that can be with advantage.
You roll the survival and I'll roll the perception.
I'll give Trailblazers and Perceptor Roars Bardock. So you guys
Alright.
roll in there.
Send it
Well,
up.
it's a Booyag.
Yeah,
and,
I'm getting my character sheet up.
it's Booyag and Flora from the sounds of it, right?
It could be Bradford too. If you want
Well, you could do 4, or you could do 2 with advantage.
Oh,
Right, we're not
Okay.
trying to skill dogpile on this.
yeah.
'Cause that's
Well,
lame.
I'll give one of them advantage. That's where Bradford is. He's helping you out.
So Flora is our perception, and then Booyag is our point man.
Sounds like a plan. Roll it up.
Northeast head.
What am I rolling again? Sorry about that.
Survival.
Perception?
Survival. Okay, your
Survival.
perception's solid.
Okay.
Nothing is
And
sneaking
these
up
are-
on
Flora
you.
would also get
Oh!
guidance and
Yeah.
a D8 from Bardock. You would also get a D4 and a D8.
Booyag.
So that's the guidance for Flora,
2.
and then 38 for
38.
Flora.
So 30, yeah, 30,
I did not
38
mean to
and
roll 4 of
22.
those.
Oh,
Okay, what the
I
heck?
just saw that.
Yeah, so there's
Okay,
a
so roll me a
that's
D8.
3.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
that's a
to roll
3. Yeah,
So that's 17,
22.
22. It's still 22. Okay.
It shall be 22.
so respectable.
So the trip over is not particularly fast getting through these shrublands, which all look a lot of like, but you know the general direction, and you have great overwatch to keep you covered. As such, the trip downward is fairly safe till you get into the forest. The mist does start getting heavier here, and the foliage is very dense, causing it to be a more difficult trek through here, as Viper would know. As you make your way over, you do hear Oni call out, let's try to not wander off in this mist this time. As he looks around and says over to you, Viper, do you think taking a riverside path is safer, or should we trek through the woods?
Let's take a peek at the river. If it's on the opposite river embankment, it'll be fine to traverse down this one. But if it's on this side, we'll be taunting it. So let's take a peek first. It
As
has been leaving a bloody trail in recent.
As you head down to the riverside from here, how do you gauge through this misty terrain if it's safe to take the river pathway?
Could Sebastian just dive into the water, not go that far, just see if there's been like a wake of disturbance in soil and erosion in fish bodies and that sort of stuff?
Absolutely. Roll me acrobatics for dive. Do it at advantage because you're a fish man.
No, he's a frog.
Frogman, thank you very much. Frogman. Open up the Viper sheet.
Does he hop into the water?
It's a pretty solid dive. As you see him just like go over and say, all right, I'm going to check this out. Take a dive into the water. Oni just like looks straight. If it was anyone else, I'd think it's a madman. Roll me a... Well, how do you try to determine this? What roll would you like to do to sort of see what's around to see?
Could I use nature again, trying to examine like nearby, like a kick up of soil on the underbed of this, or if it, because I imagine this thing doesn't slowly lurk around. I imagine it just whips around whenever it's hunting stuff, to see if like the sides of the nearby like cliff faces and stuff like that have any disturbance, any of
Okay,
the
right. See if the silt's kicked up.
exactly any of the vegetation that has been like recently destroyed or pulled up and stuff
Okay,
like that.
absolutely. Roll me an investigation.
Let's go. Pew.
Yeah, you see that everything is relatively calm here. The water does flow to a degree as it goes down the mountainside, and the little bits of grayish seaweed this far away from the light does flitter. You even see several small species of fish sort of looking quickly for any sort of food it can kick up.
So it hasn't been through here recently, or else those fish would be dead.
Correct.
Surface back up, begin climbing whatever needs to be climbed to get regroup with everyone. Dripping with river water. The way is clear for the time being. It's passed through here recently. All the silt has been kicked up. Fish looking for free food. We're going to traverse. Do so soon.
Then the river path it is.
Not that.
Let's get me another survival and perception.
I give Bardics.
I give assistance and
Give
guidance.
us the stones.
Watchman Scarecrow, you know I don't appreciate your cultural appropriation.
I don't know what you're talking about, mon ami.
You haven't jumped in the water yet for a frog to get stuck in your throat.
I am just eating some peanut butter.
General Archer, you're the one that gives a shit for using bloodsucker all the time.
Alright, roll me a survival and perception.
There's one on my fucking ass. Back off.
Ooh!
Yeah, okay, y'all are balling.
Yeah, they're
Easy.
cleaning up.
Y'all find a nice, what looks like it was a goat path through this mountainside, and make excellent timing over here as you get down towards this very narrow passageway. The river flows through here at a fast pace as it gets constrained and strictured through, but it's still relatively easy crossing if you know how. So, how do you get across? As you see, let's sort of roll.
Yeah, so how far is this?
Like, it's like this
So it's like
type of
500 feet.
situation where there's like narrows and it's like rapids with the water flowing through.
Is there anything that's quote unquote catching the water, like large stones jutting out from the mountainside or anything?
Yes, absolutely.
So we could attempt to ford the river. Or other trees on the other side?
There aren't. No, it's
Damn, I was just
pure
thinking.
mountain slope up.
So,
It's like we could UT over to it.
at the very least, is there a bank on the other side that we could UT onto?
There is.
If not for nothing, at least to make sure we don't
It's,
get loosed
it's
away.
about like a 15-20 foot wall up that looks like it's at least somewhat soft.
Did I ever just swim across at like a higher point
Absolutely.
where the water's not? Yeah, he's
Yes,
just gonna
you
do
you
that.
have a swim speed. This is not an issue.
Yeah, he's just like, alright, later. Swims. All of you hold here and figure out how you want to get across. I'm going to be upstream, swim across, secure the other side to make sure there's nothing lurking for us. He does exactly that.
Oh, he's doing exactly that. Look at that.
Look at him! Look at him go! He really
Holy shit.
You just see Oni pick up a couple stones, skip them. I have my path.
Just like that.
It's really that simple when you've studied the land.
Like this land in specific.
He just looks back at you. All land. All geographical structures and as many type of creatures that I can understand.
That sounds like nature proficiency, which I don't have.
Sounds like nature expertise.
Mm-hmm.
He begins fording a path across.
With the intent that we follow him, or
That's up to you.
because depending on how wide it is, or I guess not even then, I could just shadow step across.
It's fairly wide, but like you're here, so it's like a good 800 feet.
Mm-hmm. I'm only slightly slower than Sebastian. Like I don't have a swim speed.
So I ask you to either make a acrobatics or athletics.
Man, I wish we had caster. Just bamf us across.
The real barge.
I have a pretty good acrobatics. If I roll well enough, can I give someone advantage? As I shadow step to help them?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
So I won't roll the advantage, but I will use my ring. Better.
Better, much better.
A 19.
19. Yeah, you're able to get across. It's not particularly easy, but you're able to get across.
Do I have enough wiggle room to give someone advantage or a reroll? I guess.
Yes, but you might need to re-roll if they do bad, and if you fail, you fail with it.
Okay, I like that.
Who's
Try to
next?
follow Oni across. Sorry, what were you saying, Katie?
I was saying how far is it across?
It's about
100 feet?
800 feet.
Another-
Big Reaper.
I'll go next.
Yeah,
if
I'm gonna
nobody else
follow
has
Oni.
anything.
Yeah, just go.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
Like a
pretty good.
god.
You easily follow through this pathway that he's, and he sort of takes this reverse zigzag pathway towards the way the water's flowing to sort of stay in its calmest parts.
I can try to follow Jericho's path and with using the UT to act as an anchor.
Easily enough.
Very good.
I'll follow after Flora. But does having a swim speed affect this? Does it give you like advantage?
If you have a swimsuit, you don't need to roll.
Ah, sick.
Hey, nice.
Yeah,
depends
you
on
can
how
just
we're-
make it across. Yeah.
So then, Janny and Booyak.
Alright, I'm going after
Oh,
Oni.
and Joker.
I'm going past Oni took.
You see
The one
Oni
that-
look back. Are you going to be able to make it with your short?
Damn.
Yes, he sees you hopping across.
Like a kid playing hopscotch.
He turns around and
You know-
sees Booyak standing right next to him.
You know how Yoda flips around? I imagine that's
Like that weird puppet animation.
I see your skills have only improved.
I'm just surprised I made it.
You're just happy to be.
He just looks over to you, Cleo. Isn't he so humble?
Always.
I think. Oh, that just leaves Janny, who may or may not be here.
Clint is vibing.
Oh, and Clint, yeah.
Well, I was just gonna ask, if I focus on this, I know it doesn't say I get it, so it's entirely free of no. Could I pick up the ability to swim across this? Because it says you collect it into a vista of minds and knowledge. So could I just tap into a Doway person's mind and figure out how to swim across it?
I think that's definitely enough to get you a very good advantage for sure.
Mhm.
I will with it. Then I'll pick nature because that's what Oni had. It's not expertise, but close enough.
Oh yeah, ooh brother. All you need is a good croc, and you've been making it across real good. Yeah.
I hear his voice in the wind. I see his shadow in the trees.
I see him everywhere I go.
I miss him.
I saw him in the mist.
Oh no!
Oh, why'd you roll athletics? Oh god. I will give him a reroll.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, Janny.
Can I give him a bardic as I'm making
You
it?
can.
I would give it to him.
1 second.
Your mic is on that Katie grind set right now.
Sorry. I'm saying, can I? I'm gonna add. I'm attuned to my. I'm gonna send that to get a +5, and then I'll put another flash of genius for another +5.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Oh,
24.
Yeah, you start to feel yourself stumble, but your keen intellect kicks in, and you're like, no, this is far easier than I'm making this. You pick up the pattern of the flow, you time it, and despite your poor athletic performance, you use the ultimate muscle, the mind, to cross.
God, I hate that. I hate it.
Fuck,
So fat anyways.
You've established superiority over the river.
Simple geometry.
Mind over matter.
As you make it across, you take this trek up a mountainside and get into what is the most barren of an area as you've seen so far. There is little life here at all. The grass does not grow and is barren. It almost looks like a desert between two rivers, as the ground beneath you is very cracked, almost dried out despite the mist over top of it, which is the only thing that gives part of the areas any sort of moisture. But it is flat ground all the way across. After you clear the bit of the mist that obscures your vision, about right here, you see all the way up to the mountain, as clear as day.
There aren't any happen to be any like structures or anything built onto the side of this mountain. Outposts, towers, anything. I don't anticipate there are, but just asking.
This area, not so much.
Roger.
Given how desolate it is, you'd wager nothing has been here. You might be the first footfall that's landed here in a good long while.
Alright, hurry, someone plant a flag.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for man.
The Dark One jumps out and needs you.
God.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it makes sense for us to say that, though. Oh, like, the moon landing was fake, this is fake.
You believe in the moon?
I do. I've watched Local 58.
You believe in birds, though.
As you make your way across, throughout, you come to this large rocky outcropping that almost collides into the mountainside. And you begin to lay purchase on this strait that you will soon be your battleground. As you make your way here, and I guess onto this rock, what is the plan?
Sebastian would immediately begin surveying the place, just looking for locations of, I guess, points where energy, a lot of kinetic energy could hit, aka where to cause a rockfall and a landslide. Like, what point would, say we had an explosive or something, would you deploy it at for most effect?
Right, absolutely. So, as you look around, yeah, this would be an investigation, but this is like, explosions aren't really your expertise, so you probably need someone that's good at that to sort of guide you as you point things.
Explosives expert. If only we had that.
Some kind of inventor or...
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, he would just ask Jenny.
Oh.
Just... Yeah. I mean, he'd probably explain his thought process aloud for everyone to hear, but he definitely is addressing Jenny, first and foremost. We're looking to cause a rockslide for maximum effect. Outcroppings and things of that sort. Things that already have a lot of material in a precarious position. They only need one strong push.
What should I roll? Should I roll investigation or great intelligence? Help them out.
This is definitely investigate, right? But it's something that I think even Tinker's tools is viable here.
I'll take Tinker's tool. 23.
Hey, pretty good.
I think you're cutting out quite a bit.
Sorry.
Yeah, so let me point out. So you notice that this is soft material here, right? And it's fairly high up too, like 80, 90 feet above where the riverbed is. As such, it looks like it'd be like, fairly easy to, if you created a collapse, for it to build in on itself and create enough momentum to sort of run this riverway out. And now, the power of the river is what it is, and river can break through stone with enough time. So it won't last forever, but it should last long enough for your purposes.
Yeah, he's gonna go straight up. Point out.
Cutting out.
And now
Yeah.
again.
Shit. He's gonna go straight up to you, and then puts his arm out, points out where it is right over here, and explain that whole process. Just like that.
Good. That means we might be affecting the agent long term.
Something that just came to mind. I'd say after we kill this thing, if we kill it in the water, we are going to have to drag it onto land to burn it, right?
No, the fish got the vengeance and started eating it.
That would be ideal.
Is one of us gonna stay and make sure they eat it?
That would be a furthest venture. So we drag it back to land. Its body will likely hit the bottom or begin flowing towards. He points in this direction. The wall we make there.
Sebastian's seen it. Would it be very difficult, or just kind of difficult to drag this thing onto land?
Oh, well, so the thing about, aquatic creatures is they don't have to contend with gravity. As such, it's probably the biggest of the three.
We have ropes, ways to embed like hooks or harpoons or whatnot into it. Let it be known, Quint has block and tackle. I've had that since like the very first mission.
Nice.
Been carrying around the entire time for narrative reasons.
I have 4 javelins.
And
If that
strength.
assists this. And strength. Oh, wait, hold
Yeah,
on. Is he like the only strong one here?
We wouldn't be able to cook it underwater with radiant as opposed to fire. I assume.
Would radiant burn it even in water?
I mean, radiant is just, it's radiation. It's not necessarily heat.
Right, so we can't cremate underwater with it.
We need to destroy the body. Can we...
Wait.
How difficult
Wait
is
a
it to make
minute.
thermite?
Wait, hold on. Wait
I imagine.
a
Very.
minute. Oh, I'm gonna hit the item description for the edict. Can you banish a body? It's not a creature, but
The problem is that might work on some things, but it's from this domain.
right.
So
but
it
if it's
stay
dead,
banished.
then does it? Do I like how much? Because it
Until
makes
the
it
spell runs out.
right, but it's way easier to move a scroll than a 9x9 huge sized creature or larger.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. If we need to move the body,
Oh.
banishment makes it
Oh,
damage,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah.
So basically, scoop it up over here, run over here real
Mhm.
quick.
I
and
mean,
have
how
it
I could
respawn
yeet the
here.
fucking scroll back to the land.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll definitely.
Yeah, because banishment will just make a demi-plane. It doesn't shunt it back into its existence, or back where it came from, which is here. It just makes a pocket for it. So we can just stow the body there and bring it to the surface and eject it there. Quinn will pull out a scroll that he's been looking at for like about some while. I do got this. I'm in. He pulls it out, brandishes it. If you guys have ever seen like the Kung Fu Panda like scroll of secrets, where like it just has a reflection in it, it's something like that sort of material, except it has a sun icon emblazoned on it.
Very shiny. Very shiny.
Very shiny.
Mm-hmm.
It can trap stuff in it. And while I'd be interested in trapping that thing in it alive, that wouldn't be killing it. It'd just be putting it away for a minute. But if we need to move a big body really fast.
In actual minutes?
I believe. I'm going to double check.
Or a
Vanish minute.
metaphorical minute?
It's an actual minute.
An actual minute. Literal. Unless something breaks the scroll, which, by the way, if I begin going dark or something, feel free to try to break this thing and pop it.
Just saying, if moving something somewhere quickly in under a minute is something that we would need to do. And kind of like languidly turns his head towards Sebastian or Viper.
He looks at you.
You're the fastest of us. If you need this thing on land after trapping in a scroll, alive or dead, I think you'd be the one to do it.
Surveys the river. Well, it might be the best bet. I don't think it should be that hard to cross that amount of distance. Especially since Watchman Saturday could throw the scroll. Or
At that point, it
Watchman
might be
Duckway
their
could shoot the
fluorescence.
scroll.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, probably.
Scrolls aren't typically weighted. They don't have... What are those called? The feathers on the bolt?
Fletchings.
Fletching.
Fletchings.
Oh, okay.
We said at the same time.
The two heightened people. Let's worry about putting the beast down first.
Right. Run it. Where's the safest location? I would think... Depends on where we fight it. At least in the place that no one has been in a while. Wherever we can get it is wherever we can get it.
Well, are we trying to trap it and move it while it's alive, or when it's just dead? Because we can just start a fire on the beach, can't we? Maybe somewhere closer to the woods north of here, so we got more wood.
It would also be a massive, soaking wet creature, so we need a pretty hot heat to burn off all that water really quickly.
Underground. How does it track? How does it move?
Would Sebastian know that? The underground Neurothox?
Roll me.
I would assume it's some form of tremor sense, but the thing is, like, whereas the water one is bulking up by eating a bunch of fish in their natural habitat, how much stuff lives underground that isn't worms?